Hi class, this is Russ. I thought I would give you an example of what we mean in Java by the notion of a bag. And so I thought I'd just give you some ideas of my thoughts of what should go into a bag. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it in this lecture, but maybe some of the things I'll present here will be useful to you. So as you know, a bag is basically a collection or a container that holds objects. So it's a collection of objects which may or may not be duplicated in the container. So let's talk about when we abstract out what a bag is. So let's call this bag. Okay, and I will put it. Where's a good place? I'll put it in our CSC 400 folder, and let's put it in our module one programs. Okay. So we'll talk about bags today. Interesting topic, right? Okay, and so in Eclipse, this is what it would kind of look like. So uh, we're going to start off by um, new Java project. Oh, I've already done that. Sorry. New file, new class, right? And we'll call this bag interface. And if you choose to do it this way, you can use this over and over again for different applications that may leverage the functionality of bags. And let's see, is there anything else we need to do regarding interface work here? I don't see anything, so possibly we may have to, but for now I'll just leave it as such. Okay, so public class. So it's not a class now, okay? It's instead we'll replace the word class with interface. Now remember, an interface is just a listing of function prototypes. So as I go through it, you'll see. So what is this all about? Okay, so this is an interface that describes the operations of a bag of objects. Okay, and so we're not concerned about what the objects are at this point. All right, so now when we um, use the interface is based on an object. Okay, and so the uppercase letter T represents an object of arbitrary specification. We don't know what it is, but it could be any of the classes that you've developed in previous works. Okay, all right. So um, one of the things we'd like to do is with a bag is get the number of entries in a bag. Okay, always interested in that. So how do we do that? Well, we need a public method, right? A public int. So the number of entries in a bag is going to be an integer, and we'll call it, say, get current size. Okay, and that's all we need to do. Um, Another thing that might be of interest to us is to test if the bag is empty. So test whether the bag is empty or not. Okay. All right. And so we will have something that returns true or false, right? So this would have to be a Boolean and is empty, right? Okay. And that's all we need to do for this. And of course, we need to add entries to a bag. So add a new entry to the bag. Entry to the bag. Okay, and so the input to this method is new entry. Okay, is new entry. This is the object to be added. Okay, all right, and so how does that work? Well, so okay, so what we'll Um, so what we need is we need a public um, Boolean, and I'll explain why I suggest using a Boolean for an add operation. Add, okay, and then what we throw at the add method is, or we pass to the add method is an object of type T. And what do we call it? It was new entry, right? New entry. So I should type new if I can spell like so. Okay. Okay. So why is this a Boolean? Okay. Okay. So let me specify. So this method will return true if the addition was successful, false if not. Okay. So that's how the add works, the add method. Okay. Um, so if we add stuff, we would like to take away stuff, right? So public, so let's see here. So remove one entry from the bag of a given occurrence, of a given entry. Okay, um, so what this means is that we actually select an item that exists in the bag and we remove that particular item. So input to this method is what? An entry is an entry. Okay, so we'll call it an entry, and it'll be, of course, of type T. This is the entry to be removed. So if you're familiar with databases, this is kind of like deleting a record out of a table where you know the primary key of the table. So don't worry about it if you don't know databases. Um, and then of course it has to be a Boolean. So return true if the entry removal was successful, false otherwise. Okay. All right, so this would be a public Boolean, and we call it remove, and we target a particular item in the bag. Okay, and that's how that's prototyped. All right, and let's see what else can we do. Let's see. Let me think about this. That's not quite right, right? Basically, what we should do is, yeah. Well, yeah. I think this will work. Yeah, I don't see any issue. Okay, I was thinking maybe we could um, uh, have another kind of remove method where we can remove one entry from the bag, one arbitrary entry in the bag. So how about this? Remove an arbitrary item in the bag. Okay, this item is unspecified. Unspecified. Okay. And so instead of being a Boolean, return the item removed. Okay. All right. So so how would that look? So that would be something like public. Okay, so since it returns an object of type T and it doesn't consume any arguments. Okay, so that's another type of remove. And then of course we could remove all the entries from the bag, clear the bag. And how could that be accomplished? let's see here, public void what? Clear, right? Okay. And what else can we do? Count the number of duplicates. Count the number of duplicates of a given item, perhaps. Okay. All right. So this would of course have to return an integer. So we could say um, inputs input. This would be an entry which an item in the bag. Okay, and then the output would be um, the number of occurrences in the bag of an entry. Okay. All right, so I believe from the PowerPoint slide that we talked about previously, it was called get frequency, right? So public int get frequency of, that is, and then we pass into it an entry of type T. Okay, now that's a useful thing to have. Another thing we could consider, test whether the bag contains a particular entry. Okay, and so how can we do this? So input would be an entry. Which is the entry to locate. Okay, and then this would have to be a Boolean, right? Either the entry's in the bag or it's not. Okay, so output true if an entry is in the bag, false otherwise. One second. Okay, and so the interface to this method would be public Boolean contains. Okay, and then we pass into it our candidate object. We want to know if that the bag contains this particular object. All right. Why is that underlined? So, oh, I was okay. There we go. All right, and anything else? Okay, so um, another thing we can consider is return all the entries of the bag in the bag and store them in an array. Okay, that might be interesting because you can then create an iterator and loop through the items in the bag. So how can we do this? Okay, so we would need to declare an array, right? So of type T. So public T. Okay, so the toArray method. Okay, takes the bag and converts it to an array. And so alternatively, Another way of semantically constructing this is we could go public T, okay, T, public interface T to array. Here's another way of declaring this. You can put in the angle bracket T if you think in terms of interfaces, okay? Or we can, of course, return an array of objects, public object to array. Okay, so the to array method converts our bag to an array of items. All right, so these are things you can do. Okay, and then another method we could do is we could merge two bags. Okay, and so so the input another bag. Okay, and then the output the combined bag. Okay, that might be useful. It's kind of like working around like a set, right? Combining two sets. So how can we do this? So an interesting way of doing this, we could go public bag interface, okay, of type T, union, okay, and of course the input would be an interface. Bag interface T, the other bag, another bag. Okay. All right. So the union method returns a bag. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, so we merge two bags. Another thing we can do is we can intersect two bags. Okay. So so the input another bag, which is compared with this bag. Okay. And let's see what else. Let's see, intersect two bags. Okay, so the output a new bag, which contains items found in both bags. Okay. All right, and so how can we prototype this? So we'll go public bag interface type T, and this will be an intersect. Okay, and what do we pass to it? The other bag, right? Let's call it intersection. Okay, so bag interface type T, another bag. Okay. And let's see here, what else can we do? So this would be the intersect. So these would be items found in both bags. And then we could have a difference between two bags, right? So difference between two bags. Okay, so we could go create a new bag. Of objects that would be left in this bag, okay, after removing those that also occur in another bag. Okay. All right. So we would return. So the output would be what? A combined bag, a difference of two bags. Okay. All right. And so again, this would be public bag interface type T difference bag interface of type T, another bag. Okay, so yeah, so this kind of advanced stuff here. So something to consider. Let's see, let me save it and let's see if it builds. It should. I mean, there's really not that much logic here, just a bunch of function prototypes. So what happens if we run it? Probably, yeah, because there are no recent launches. Okay, so consider this when you address your Module 1 critical thinking assignment for this week. And if you have any questions about this discussion, feel free to post in the Module 1 discussion forum, or if you have any comments or see any errors that I made, by all means, post them as well. So this is kind of interesting. Okay, catch y'all later. Bye-bye.